Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, the podcast from Pride Pool Spas and Leisure Products in Claxton and Savannah, Georgia. Celebrating 50 years serving our community, this family-owned business has spent decades helping create memories that last a lifetime. Whether you're a pool owner, a spa lover, or just looking to turn your outdoor space into a true retreat, we've got you covered right here on the Backyard Family Fun podcast. And as a crazy awesome deal for our Backyard Family Fun podcast fans, you get 10% off anything inside either location in Claxton and Savannah, excluding pools, hot tubs, or saunas when you mention the podcast. That's all you have to do. Go and visit the Claxton or Savannah Pride pools, mention the podcast, and get 10% off. Now that's a reason to celebrate. Welcome back to Backyard Family Fun. I'm Dee Daniels. We're in the Savannah location of Pride Pool Spas and Leisure Products. We're going to be back in Claxton. And our next set of episodes, we're excited to get back in Claxton. It's been a little while. Here with Alex Smith for this episode, and it's kind of a timely episode. You know, summer, end of summer, weather, storms, a lot of concern with pools and what do we do, our spas and what do we do, our backyard fun that we've got set up. How do we protect it all with any sort of inclement weather? And so, Alex, we're going to dive into the fun topic of weather.
Yeah, sounds good.
During this episode.
Yeah, I mean, weather, gosh, that's a generalized topic. However, for us, in the southeast Georgia that we're located in is you can expect a thunderstorm, thunder boomer, we call them, every afternoon about, somewhere between 3 to 5 o'clock. Here comes thunder shower.
Yep.
And, they're short, they don't last long, but they can be intense.
Yes.
They can be really intense. And so you have to kind of be prepared for that kind of stuff. The biggest thing that we want our customers to really pay attention to when these things come through is, I'm going to go at water. I've always used water as the base, as the heart, and is the underlying. If you don't maintain the water, you will certainly have issues. And so I always use, water is the number one thing you should be taking care of when it comes to the pool. And if you take care of the water, the rest will fall in place. So thunder showers come through and they just blow in debris. You got tons of rain, and it dilutes the water and it changes the water chemistry a tremendous amount. And you don't really know that until you bring us a water sample and you find out that if you're on salt, it's going to dilute the salt in the pool, and it's going to change the pH and the alkalinity and a lot of different things. But if you take water down because of a heavy thunder shower just came through and it dropped 2 inches of rain, you got to take water out the pool. And if you want it to skim properly and maintain correctly. So getting prepared for that is very hard to do. I'm going to kind of keep things pretty simple. We do sell some of the canopies, the large umbrellas, but just keep them down. Just keep those. Do not leave them up.
Yeah.
A lot of times people go swimming late in the evening, they'll roll it up and forget to bring it down. So you don't have to store it inside the building or something like that. Just be sure the umbrellas are rolled down. And furniture, you can't do anything about that. Best thing to do is just leave it around the pool. If it blows in, you just want the type furniture that doesn't damage the pool.
That's right.
I mean, there's a lot of aluminum chairs and things like that. A lot of your outdoor furniture usually is like a resin, kind of a plastic, very hard material, but it doesn't really damage the liner or the fiberglass or chip the plaster in the pool. So it's not going to really hurt the finish of it. But there's a lot of PVC, a lot of resin, a lot of different type of furniture that doesn't damage the inside of the pool. And, really and truly, if you, those couple of things, course, we got really severe storms because we're right here on the coast. Tornadoes, hurricanes, and those are words you'd hate to use this time of year. But
Right.
I want to say it out too
Nobody
loud.
wants to say, don't say it 3 times.
No, you don't.
Just the once, we're fine.
Man, we have our share of those sometimes, but
That's right.
it's been a little. We just work through it. It's like another day, but we've gone through them enough. We just be prepared. And if you live on the East Coast, you'll understand. Most people that live on right on the coast, they completely understand how to prepare. So, but when you're dealing with your pool, it's going to drop a lot of water.
Yeah.
And when you drop a lot of water, that pool's going to catch most of it in the backyard. So just keep it simple. Bring us a water sample, and you can do a quick test strip if you have some of those. But bring it in and let us test it out. More than likely, you're going to have to rebalance the pH and the alkalinity and top off the salt, stuff like that. And, of course, we offer that service. We can do it for you if you like. But that's preparedness when it comes to thunder showers late in the evening. There's probably some other things, but I guess you have to wait and see what happens from the storm.
Yeah,
to kind of
exactly.
prepare for it. So.
Exactly. I most of the time in this type of environment and in Georgia and this type of weather, we're not covering our pools. We don't normally do that. Is there a reason, let's say hurricane season, or we're going to get some, I said it twice now, we're going to get a little bit of weather coming our way and we've got plenty of warning and that sort of thing. Is there any time where you would cover?
That's a very good point. A lot of people put the covers over the pool, the lanai or the screen enclosures, primarily for bugs, insects, stuff like that. It does keep debris out, of course, but boy, the no-see-ums are pretty bad certain time of the year, and those enclosures really prevent that. So you can be out around the pool, and your family can enjoy swimming and not be carried off by the insects. That's one thing the enclosures are there for. The other is the debris. You've got heavy maintenance. You got trees over, branches that are low. It will keep out the limbs, the leaves, the debris from the pool. That's one type of cover. That's a permanent structure there, Dee. But we also got the covers that, like the solid or the mesh covers that will go over the pool, and it kind of anchors into the deck. We got the kind that's automatic that will roll over and roll back. And then we got the ones that are anchors into the deck. They're a little bit less expensive, but both of them are fitted to the pool. And those, you can get a solid or a mesh that anchors into the deck. They're called safety covers. And it is 100% that. It keeps, if you have pets, children, you're concerned for anybody close by that could possibly enter the pool, that will prevent any issues. And it looks like a big trampoline mat over the pool. That's about the best way to explain it.
And they're really strong,
they are,
too.
Very, very strong. And any limbs or anything falls on that, surprisingly enough, it will keep it out of the pool. And small child, pet can walk right across of it. And so you don't have to worry about any issues when it comes to safety on swimming, things like that. But, man, storms, it's actually, you brought up a great point. Those are really good covers for that. If you have one of those, take it out and got a storm coming. I'm not going to say that storm 3 times. I'm not going to say if you know one of those are coming, put that over there. That's a great idea. And see, a lot of people use those covers to cover the pool in the off season. So in the fall and winter, you just leave it covered. Aesthetically, it looks nice and looks good, and you let the pool run. So you got the pump on a timer, put it on a schedule, because some of those covers, like I said before, they're mesh, so water will go through it.
Right.
So if you let water go through it, then you're going to change the water chemistry. So therefore, you need to let the pump run and let the water filter. So that being said, if you do not want that, you can do a solid. There's a solid safety cover, and it's designed to keep water and anything. So it'll keep any and everything out of the pool. So it comes with an automatic little pump that you just lay on top of it. And just a little bit of water can get on there, and this pump will pump it right off.
Right.
And it's really cool. And if you know something like that's coming in this time of year, I mean, even if you're going to be out of town and, in the summertime, you got, again, summer in the southeast Georgia, you got those thunder boomers popping up, and you just put that thing on there. You can actually, if you're going to be out of town for a while, you don't have to worry about the pool.
Right.
You don't have to worry about the water turning on you. So you can go ahead and just cover it. Now, covering and closing the pool, two different things.
Sure.
So we're just talking about covering the pool.
For protection.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Covering the pool for protection, storms primarily. And both those covers, the mesh and the solid, are great covers to have. If you have them or not, purchase one. And we install those.
Yeah.
And those are really neat. It just protects everything about the pool. And they look good. They don't like a sore thumb sticking out there on the pool.
And I could see that being a real lifesaver during bad weather, and all that cleanup that you have to do sometimes afterwards is such a pain. And so, to be able to keep that out, I mean, that would be pretty fantastic, actually.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this too. Is there any reason at any time when you've got, treacherous weather coming to drain the pool at all?
So a lot of people ask that question. That's a very good point. Up north, northeast, when it gets cold, a lot of people drain the pool down. They flush the plumbing and all that. Totally different. We do not even think about doing that here. We don't even have a frost line, much less a freeze line. So we don't do that. And we just don't do it, period, because the water table, we're 10, 11 feet below sea level here. So we do not recommend at all to drain your pool or drain it down. If you're going to do anything like that, consult a professional. And
know a guy if you need one.
Well, I'm glad you do. So we can certainly get a hold of that person.
That's right.
And they can probably direct you in the right direction of what to do when it comes to taking care of that. But, the cover, is that what we were talking about?
Well, it's draining the pool.
Draining.
Yeah.
So draining the pool. Do not remove any water out of the pool due to the hydrostatic issues that you can have. High water table, very high water table, it can cause some structural issues with the pool. And the last thing you want to do is try to do the right thing, you thought, but it's the wrong thing by taking water down. So leave it full. Let it turn green, black, purple, whatever color. Just don't remove water.
Yeah.
Don't remove the water from the pool. It's a lot of times, it depends on where you live at. Some people do remove water. I just highly recommend not to do that at all.
Yeah.
And if the pool overfills, that's okay. It's not going to damage or hurt anything. A lot of people they take water down because a lot of water's coming in due to the storm. No, that's a misconception. That's, you'd rather have more water in it and then pump it down as needed, as opposed to the water drop all the way out.
That's right.
Because you could get damage
Yeah.
to the pool, and then therefore, guess what? The pool could drain.
Yeah.
And you're in trouble then. So we just highly recommend to do not take any water out of the pool and leave it full during the storm.
Yeah.
And if you're even covering the pool, or we talk about inclement weather and storms, but if you do decide to winterize it, do not drain the pool down at all here.
Yeah, listen,
Yep,
that's
yep.
clear. That makes a
Yep.
lot of sense. A lot of sense. Speaking of some sort of myths, is it true that if you add extra chemicals before a storm, that can protect and sort of help afterward?
Yes, it can. So it will not hurt anything at all to top off the algaecide. So if you are every chemical program has a 3-step program. So you got sanitation, oxidation, and preventative, which is your algaecide. Top it off with some shock. It will not hurt anything. And add some additional algaecide. So absolutely, good point. Top it off with those step 2, step 3, and it will not harm anything at all. If anything, it will help the water. So you may get heavy debris in it, but it's less likely to turn green. And it's, it may not be filtering, you lost power, not able to run the pump and filter it, but you've topped it off with the algaecide and the shock, and guess what? It's less likely to turn. So the time the power does come back on, you might be ahead of most people.
Right.
And not to add all that algaecide to clear up the pool. So that
makes sense.
That's a great point to do that.
Yeah.
Top it off with shock and then with an algaecide.
Good deal. I want to kind of come out of the pool for just a moment, grab your towel, we'll dry off, no problem. And talk about some of the other backyard fun that we've got going on, like, grills and kitchens and fire pits and the other backyard features during inclement weather. Is there something that the homeowner can do to maybe prepare like fencing or decks to sort of minimize damage? Anything that, we can do? Obviously, we want to, quote unquote, batten down the hatches, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
But is there something we can do with like the fencing and the decking that hopefully we won't get as much damage during these storm seasons?
So actually all pools today, you are required to have a fence around the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a minimum of 4 feet or higher. And so depending on what type of fence you have, that does help, yes. So fencing around the perimeter of the pool or the backyard in general. So, the last storm that came through here, I think a lot of people lost their fence.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of damage, and a lot of people were not hurt, but just a lot of wind. And wind, can knock down power lines, and therefore you have no power. So you can't run the hot tub. You want to be able to get in a lot of times people are like, well, since we can't do anything, we can get in the hot tub and, let the storm pass.
Yeah.
Well, you have no power.
Right.
We jump in the pool. You can do that. It's not a problem there as long as you don't have a lot of limbs and things in the pool. But fencing will help some.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, you got the enclosures. There's a lot of solid fence. You got the privacy fence. You got the safety fence. And you got basically, I guess you call the aesthetic fence. And it's just there to look pretty.
Right.
And don't do a lot of good of stopping trees and
Right.
things like that, limbs. But
It has one job, and it's pretty.
it's there to look pretty in the backyard. It makes the backyard
Of
come
course.
together. That's
Yeah.
right.
You have things like that in the backyard. I mean,
do.
you really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right before the storm, you think, I should probably go out and get those if I can.
That's right. That's right.
Or tie them down
Oh,
somehow.
wow.
Or
Don't you
something.
know it? Because most things that look pretty
Yeah.
usually don't look pretty after the storm.
That's right. That's right. Well, speaking of after the storm, I'd sort of like to talk a little bit about that. Let's say a storm has come through. What do you think would be a good idea to have like as a first priority? What's the first thing like a pool or a spa owner should do and check once it's safe to go outside after a storm?
So what should they check? So the backyard, depends on if the pool, if you lost power, the first thing I would do is be sure the pump's running.
Mm-hmm.
So because once the storm's over with, it's dropped a lot of water, a lot of debris, a lot of limbs are in the yard. You want to be certain that the filter is functioning and doing what it's supposed to do. Make sure there's no damage at the pump and filter. And if that's not, if all that looks good, fire it up. Be certain that the pump and filters is running. You got sanitation being fed to the pool, and you start your cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
Get the big stuff out, get the heavy debris stuff out first, and then come get one of our automatic cleaners and put it in there and
Let it go.
Matter of fact, we believe it or not, we do actually have. We got equipment, automatic pool cleaner, which is the robotic, where you just plug it into the wall and drop it in. So we got those for after the storm. So if you don't have one, you can lease one or rent one, and we let people use them by the day, and they're pretty cool. You can get your pool cleaned up pretty quick with those, or again, you can just call us and we'll come out there and do it.
Right.
It's probably the first thing is be certain the filtration system is not damaged, and be certain that's working like it should. On the spa side of it, if the power is still on, be certain that there's no damage to the cover. Be sure that's working okay there. And just take care of the water. Be sure the water is balanced. And to do that, just get a water test. Get it completely tested, and we can tell you exactly what's got to have.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I was thinking about that sort of cleanup process when you've got big debris in the pool, and you got to go ahead and get that out. But you're going to put that automatic cleaner in maybe, and that's going to help get everything that you can't get to and that sort of thing. Is there any concern about any of that debris sort of getting in and damaging the filter or any of the equipment? Like how I'm sure that's a concern depending on what's all gotten into the pool during the storm.
Sure, absolutely. If you got like mainly leaves and pine straw and stuff like that, you want to get that out conveniently. What I mean by that is if you got it on that pool cleaner, you can turn that on, but we've got these contraptions called leaf eaters.
Right.
And they're designed to just eat leaves. And it's like this big thing that you attach to the end of the pole. And we got a battery operated one with it. You don't have to hook a garden hose to it. You can just kind of connect it to the end of the pole, drop it into the pool, and it comes on. And it's battery operated, and it vacuums up, sucks up all the big stuff like leaves, acorns, stuff that you normally can't vacuum through the vacuum hose, the manual vacuum system. And it is strictly designed to pick up big stuff, big debris. And if you have a lot of debris in the pool after a storm, you got to get the big stuff out first.
Right.
And if you don't get the big stuff out first, you won't ever get the pool cleared up. So it just kind of reinfects and it just, a lot of the organic material just keeps dissolving and you'll just never get it out of the water hardly. So get the leaves out, get the big stuff, the pine straw, the leaves, all that kind of stuff. And like I say, I think it's called the big sucker. One of them's called the big sucker, and then the other one's a leaf eater. Those are a quick way to do it. And then, of course, once you get the big stuff out, and you try out, if you do not have a cleaner, the robotic cleaners are they're out there strictly to test. So either the ones with cord or the cordless. So we got them both, and they work on any pool.
Right.
They don't care what type of pool you have, in-ground, above ground, vinyl, concrete, fiberglass. We got it to fit. And the cordless are so cool. You just drop it in, and it'll come back to you.
To the same spot,
It'll
even,
come
right?
back to the same spot.
Yeah.
It really will.
I've seen those.
Those are pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. You're right.
They are.
It's like, I feel like I've also say obviously, the ones with the cords work great too, work really great. But there's just something so cool about watching that cordless zip around the bottom and the corners. And
that's right.
It's very cool.
It's really neat. They actually have a pattern that these things are programmed to do once you initially put it in the pool. So it actually kind of goes back and forth a certain pattern in the floor of the pool, and it'll just come back to where it started. And you're supplied this little hook that you can, if it's a little bit too far in the water, but if you have steps, I think we even crawl up to the first step. You can just reach over and grab it. I did that, the ones that we have, and it's kind of creepy. It's like, you come and talk to me about something or what you got to say.
Right.
But it's pretty neat that you didn't have to work hard to get it out of the water. It was right there. Just lean over and grab it and plug it in. And I think a couple, 2 or 3 hours all you need.
Right.
And it will go for an hour and a half or so. You don't need but about an hour of cleaning time for most cleaners. Within an hour, will clean the pool.
Yeah.
And I
covered
think,
all the bases. Right.
Exactly. I think the ones we have will last like an hour and a half run time, and they do a great job. Really do a great job. Today, I may have mentioned this in one of the episodes, but I have never manually vacuumed my pool, and I really don't have any intentions to ever
no desire for you to do it.
Nope. I mean, when you have things that we offer, things that make a pool fun and easy to take care of.
Right.
So the whole idea of that is we supply all that when you have a pool, and who wants to be out there lugging and brushing and dipping and all that kind of stuff
Exactly.
in 105-degree heat.
Nobody.
Nobody does.
Nobody.
I certainly do not.
Yeah.
But best thing to do is when you have that kind of temperature, just fall in.
Yeah.
Just walk up there and fall in the pool.
Whoops, I
That's
fell.
what it's supposed to be. Right. Exactly.
Well, of course, we've got the links in the show notes of this episode where you can look at these products that we're talking about. You can, go to the location, Savannah or Claxton, and ask about these particular products that we're talking about too. So anything you need right there in the quick links. Final question as we talk about sort of storm proofing your backyard and all of your elements for family fun fun back there. What type of storm, what category of storm would your wife call you? Is, I think, the final question, Alex. I don't know if is it different when you're in trouble or versus, are you more of a hurricane, a cyclone? Is it, I don't know, like a tornado, Alex?
Wow. Maybe all the above. Oh my goodness! Depends on what kind of damage is done. Probably. If I create a lot of damage, I get called a lot of different storms.
I bet you do. I bet you. It's probably best if we ask her.
I think you're absolutely right about that. Good point. Good point.
Alex, always fun to sit down. Great information on this episode. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee.
Let the celebrations continue. The team at Pride Pools is excited to give you a huge anniversary special. Actually, 3 of them. To celebrate 50 years all year long, you can get up to $10,000 in savings on 3 anniversary fiberglass pools. There are 3 sizes to choose from: the backyard size, the family size, and the fun size. How cool is that? So stop by the Claxton or Savannah locations of Pride Pools or go to pridepools.com for more information. Thanks for listening. Come by and meet your local pool and spa experts in Claxton on Highway 280 West or in Savannah on Gateway Boulevard South, or go to pridepools.com. If you love backyard family fun as much as we do, be sure to give us a rating and review and subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you have a question or topic you'd love for us to cover, drop us an email, info@pridepools.com, or tap the links for Facebook or Instagram in the show notes of this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's go make a splash and have some backyard family fun.
Pride Pool.